Hey, so my name is Eric Heaps. I am a school, so my assignment is a school resource officer for the Cedar City Police Department. My previous assignment was patrol officer. That's usually how you start as a police officer, and then you come back to patrol later after you've done something different. So this is my time to do something different as a school resource officer. So that's my current job. There's lots of really good reasons to do the jobs that I do, but I feel like the most important thing for me was matching a job to what I could survive, like as in not go nuts every day because of the environment or the job description, and so I personally need to be like in different places regularly. Like I feel like I'm not very good at staying in one place, like at a desk all the time doing the same thing.
So being an accountant probably wouldn't work for you.
Yeah, I think that would be an awesome, lucrative profession, but I just don't think I could do it. That's one thing about policing, is that you tend to not be in the same place all the time. You tend to do a lot of similar things every day, but there's always slight variations enough that like refreshes my computer, like in my head. And it varies day to day enough that it's like I'm doing something different every day, and that helps me survive this profession.
Let's talk about let's get into your education to become a police officer.
All right, so education, it's good to differentiate education from training. So we'll start with education. Most law enforcement agencies require, at a minimum, a high school diploma. Lots of law enforcement agencies are starting to require more than that. The Cedar City Police Department does require they have it in their policy that they require it, but it's easily waived, a bachelor's degree or an associate's degree. I can't remember which one. But there are ways to bypass that through equivalent education or training.
Do you know why they're starting to require that?
Whether that's Cedar City Police Department or other agencies, they start to require that because post-high school education exposes you to more stuff. So you'll have to think about other things besides sort of the same stuff that you've been thinking about all through high school. And the high school environment is kind of limits you. We try to improve that through classes like this that expose you to more. But high schools can only do so much, and that's why we have colleges, is to expose you to more things. It's called having like a rounded education. So if you go to college, you'll have to write a lot more. You'll have to study a lot more. You'll have to read a lot more. All those things are what I believe law enforcement agencies are looking for. They want to be able to show that you are able to function. So as a police officer, I write a ton because there's reports, legal reports. Like I have to write reports, and I can see the difference between officers that don't have a college education and that do have a college education when it comes to writing and speaking, just communicating. It can be a challenge. Now, I think officers learn fairly quickly, but that's something that I was able to pick up really quick because of my education. So.
And your reports are quite valuable, especially when it comes to a judge or somebody that needs to be able to refer to that.
Yeah. So somebody's future is possibly on the line here just based on what I write down in my report. So let's say I respond to an incident, I identify a suspect of a crime, I gather evidence and I gather statements of witnesses, and then I take all that and I put it into my report. Well, if I'm if I'm not a very good writer, if I'm not good at writing, I'm about to put all of that stuff onto this report that a judge and a jury or prosecutors are going to read, and that's all they have to go off of because they weren't there. And so I need to make sure for that person's sake that I'm doing my job correctly, for the person that's being prosecuted and for the victims of crimes, make sure that I'm doing my job right and communicating well. And if I don't, that can be an issue. And usually that shows itself in court. Because I have to talk to the judge and the jury about that. And they usually, if I don't write my report well, they'll usually pick me apart pretty good.
Wow.
So.
Nice. Well, let's go over some of the other things of being a police officer then.
Okay.
So you've got, how much does a starting police officer make usually?
So I would say, yeah, depending on your agency, the size of your agency and where you live, like what your standard is for your community. Cedar City is a good example because that's where I'm at. I started at about $19 an hour.
Okay.
And I work 40 hours a week. So.
Okay, guys. So if he works if you start out with $19 an hour and you work 40 hours per week.
Mm-hmm.
So how much is that a week? 19 times 40.
Just under 760.
$760 a week?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So then we got to times that by what to get a monthly rate?
4.
By 4 equals how much a month?
30,
40. $3,040. Okay. And then we multiply that by 12 to be able to find out the year. 36,480.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Sounds about right.
if you make about 36,000 a year, and this is that's comparable to a starting teacher salary as well, right? So about 36,000. Now, how do you get raises? Is it every year?
So most police departments have a raise schedule. That's the reason that they schedule your raises is because they want you to know that the longer you work there, the more they will pay you to stay there. That's a good thing. That's a retention thing is what we call that. And so our pay schedule, I'll just go off of where I'm at right now. So I'm at 2180, I think, right now. So in 4 years, I've gone from about 19 flat to almost $22 an hour, so $3.
$3 raise.
$3 raise over the course of 4 years. And some of that was due to just the raise schedule. Like I knew that I was going to get that raise. Some of that was because of cost of living increases. Mm-hmm. And then also my certifications gave me a little bit more money too. So once my department started paying me for speaking Spanish, there was a little bit extra money. Once I certified as a Patrol 2 police officer, meaning I demonstrated my expertise through testing, they gave me a little bit of raise on that as well.
Nice. So you can expand on your qualifications and get more money on that area.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Similar, like last time you talked about becoming a canine unit. If they're looking for somebody to be it and you're interested in doing it, you go through the training with them. They give you a supplement to be able to take care of the dog, right? And any kind of repairs that the dog ruins.
Yeah.
But does a canine unit also get a little extra bump in pay?
Yep. So pretty much any job that's going to require you to do an obvious amount more work than a normal patrol officer, or more specific type of work that requires more training and certifications, the policing agencies will pay you more. So Canine's one of them. Being a detective in our department is one that requires you actually to be promoted to a different rank. so I'm also a field training officer, meaning I train new police officers. Anytime I am actually training a new police officer, I get paid a little bit more per hour to do that, because there's an added liability and an added stress to that.